Patch 10.7, the anime patch. New DLC, $5 for a Gooner anime adept skin. Is it good? No, not like at all. 10% more damage, 10% more health on a hero who is worthless for DPS. Then what makes this DLC worth $5, I hear nobody asking? That would be these things right here. $250 each. But on a serious note, I really don't like this. I'm not really a fan of anime in general, but more than that, it just really doesn't fit with the game. It stands out, and not in a good way, but it's a Gooner skin, and Gooners spend money, and you need money to keep up the game, so whatever. At the end of the day, I only play the game solo, so while I feel like this is the first step down a bad path for the game, it won't affect me personally, and it helps keep the game afloat. Balance changes. Only two this time. One, we already talked about in the last video. True Boss Rush and Workshop Assault had their rates buffed. They're not as good as before the inflation patch, but they're still alright. Also, I think Lab Assault got buffed too, but I'm not sure on that one. Number 2, yet another event was nerfed. Let's fucking go. Nerf the cheater accessories next. Woo! The Shark event pet is now a little bit smaller. I actually have this one myself, which might surprise some of you since, I don't trade or use event items, but a while back I got a cat that looked really neat and I offered it to Vivi, who then gave me a shark for some reason, so now I have it. Not gonna use it though. This nerf is probably in the same line as the Owl nerf, since this update added non-event sharks, and the balancing team probably wants to set a precedent that events can be outfarmed, which is a really good precedent for the game. And that's it for the balance changes. On this patch, yeah, 10.6.26 also happened, and it buffed the Cupid bosses on Ruthless. So remember that Desert Cupid on Emerald City? Dude shoots 3 shots now instead of 1. Still a chump though. New content. Infested Waters. It's a really weird mix of Aquano stuff and Infested stuff in a decently large map. It feels a bit like a maze, but it also uses the Aquanos music, which is like my favorite music in the game, so that makes up for it. It's got 3 crystals, a fuck ton of chests, and while you do have fish wyverns and harbingers, there are no wasp enemies at all. Once you've killed everything on the final wave, you get teleported to a platform, and yeah, the transgender shark thing, that's the boss. That's the whole boss. It doesn't fucking do anything! Also, there's seahorses around the map, which might be a secret or something, but they might not. I'll have a comment pinned below for if we know what they are or what they do. I figure it's also worth mentioning that the waves are way faster with 4 players, so that's the go-to way for speed and efficiency. Loot. We got 3 new pets and 2 new weapons. Both of these weapons aren't really good weapons, but they seem to roll with really good side stats, so maybe builder weapons. That said, there's a notable lack of movement speed, so unless the build is crazy fast or crazy easy, I doubt these will become mainstream builder weapons. First up is the Trident. Its swing speed is regular, and it's got pretty good damage for upgrade actually. Might be a worthwhile hermit weapon. As far as the range damage goes, it's a bubble with a massive AoE. Here's a little DPS comparison. I'm a big fan of weapons with a large area of effect, so I might actually use this. Next is the Nerf Super Soaker. It's a flamethrower. That's it. On to the pets. Wave 25 and you get the Shark, which is the non-event version of the Blahaj, but this thing. It's a melee pet with a big AoE bite attack, and it is really good. I've actually heard that it's one of the best pets in the entire game for killing the Kraken. It will also roll exclusively as not transcendent, but trans, and assuming the survival build isn't too bad, I might actually go farm this one for myself. Wave 30 drops the Axolotl, and it sucks. It's a relatively short-range DPS pet. It shoots a burst of 3 bubbles, and it shoots pretty fast, but again, it's got bad DPS, and the short range just doesn't help it at all. Unless I'm missing something, I think a buff of some kind will come its way sometime in the future. Also, for some reason, whenever it kills an enemy, it just launches them, which is pretty funny to watch. For finishing the survival, on wave 35, you will get the Rubber Duck. It shoots a total of 3 shots, does exclusively electric damage, and the shots have a fairly large area of effect. The range on the pet is fairly short, although I think it's a little bit more than the Axolotl, and the DPS is fairly mid, but that might be made up for by the large area of effect. It also looks pretty neat. Honestly, between this and the Shark pet, I think the computer science people are really going to appreciate this update. And that's it for all the pets. Unless they get changed, I don't think anything is really worth farming for except for the Shark, which again is really, really good. I'd also bet the Shark is unlikely to get nerfed at all since the event version has been out for, basically forever. New Tavern. There is now a King's Game Tavern that unlocks after doing King's Game on Nightmare. It's probably one of my favorite taverns. It looks great, although I really would like the tables and chairs to not be this ugly transparent rainbow texture. Also, the ceiling...
Why are you blue?
I don't really get why it's blue. Just upstairs here on the 2nd floor, you have a really nice checkerboard ceiling, or even in here, there's something that's a little bit less painful to the eyes. And while we're on the 2nd floor, this place actually has a really good looking ceiling, similar to the 1st floor, but again, it actually looks good here and it fits. Hopefully they change the ceiling on the first floor of the tavern, because, again, it's just really ugly. But, like, I gotta say, man, damn, the balcony area. Holy hell. I'll probably just rock with this tavern from now on because it just looks so good. A quick bit here for the tavern as well. The Choose Tavern room doesn't have a preview icon for this yet, but it will in the future. Event. There is an event going on, but again, I don't really do events, so I don't really know what to say here. If you want the details, join the Discord and ask around. But I do have to mention, because I said I would, these little embers are an event thing, and the noise they make when you pick them up is completely new, made by Nienta from the Discord, and they plan on making more custom sound effects for the game. Give your suggestions, praise, and input to Nienta because it's really cool, and I'd like to see a lot more of this. There's also been some changes to the Crystal Race event, but I don't really care about it, so moving on. Quality of life and UI. The loot HUD has been changed. A lot more settings, a lot more customizability, and if you had it placed in the top left, it will no longer overlap with other UI. Beyond that, we are still missing the difficulty rating on maps, which, I mean, come on, Pancake, it's been like 2 updates. And speaking of Pancake, the tower range indicator is no longer enabled by default, and it actually is fully accurate now. I'm honestly really excited to use this one, and I know for a fact that the builder community is really going to appreciate it. Outside of the gameplay changes, 10.6.26 adjusted how colors change on the Skeletal Warrior skin for Countess, and a few other things on the Miner hat accessory, which I think drops from the Tele mining complex. Bug fixes. Okay, this one's a pretty good one, but the Lover Jester is no longer rotated 90 degrees. I'm gonna be honest, this one was pretty funny, and I'm kind of sad that it got fixed. I was a big fan. Beyond that, the Flying Saucer Pet no longer pierces enemies or goes through walls, which I'm pretty sure that's something that was fixed in the previous update, but I guess that it wasn't. I'm honestly not clear on that, but it should be fixed now. And that's kind of it for the stuff that I want to talk about. I'll show some of the other stuff for the other fixes, but beyond Enrage Auras getting fixed to not do this map should be able to show off the Enrage Aura fairly well. Okay, the ogre is dead. And the other stuff that we talked about, there's nothing major that I want to bring up, with the exception of this line for the patch notes, because it's really confusing and kind of misleading. But to TLDR it, there is no nerf to the endgame farms. It's just saying that if one of the already super good armor farms that exist happens to be Map of the Week, it will now be 18% worse because of the fact that Map of the Week was nerfed. Otherwise, every single map in the game is now 35% better to farm armor on because there's 35% more loot. Seriously, these patch notes are so fucking cooked, man. As always, thanks for watching, and to the developers specifically, please give me B-roll footage. I want more B-roll footage. It is really nice to have. Please.